welcome back to a very, very special mini episode of the No Vacancy podcast. I'm very excited today because I am also serving as an editor-at-large with Hotel Management Magazine, and they are coming up with this really cool series of events, which, there's a whole bunch of them throughout the year. I wish I could be a part of more of them, but I know some guy here who's going to be a part of every single one of them. That's Alexi Khajavi, the EVP with Questex Hospitality and Travel Group. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
This is good. We've known each other for a long time. First time me and you are sharing the microphone, I'm a little intimidated, I got to tell you.
I don't think we need microphones. That's the case. We speak loud enough. We're good.
We definitely do. We're here at a convention recording this right now, and I got to tell you, I bet you the people could hear it all the way on the other side of the buffet lines down there.
Right. Well, there was a guitar guy out there yesterday, right? So
yes. So if you hear any of my interviews from this event, it's got a great musical soundtrack.
There's a soundtrack, the Glenn Hausman soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be talking today a little bit about Hotel ROI, and you can find more information about that at hotelroi.com, obviously. Yep. And what I find really fascinating is you've gone ahead and created a series of highly localized events that are going to empower people with knowledge about their specific market. I'll tell you, Alexi, one of the things that I like and hate about going to all these national conferences, we all have to sit through the national numbers for the year, and I find they don't mean a darn thing to that individual owner's business because this is such a street corner game. You're out there to reinvent the paradigm of this. How'd you come up with this idea?
Well, we all say that real estate's a hyper-local game.
Right.
But at the end of the day, hospitality is a global industry. Still, at the end of the day, those heads and beds are driven by what's going on in that local market. Mm-hmm. So for a hotel operator and owner-operator that's really trying to drive revenue and drive as much of that revenue through to profits as they can, it's about what's going on in that local market. What are the demand drivers? Where are the costs? Where are the regulations, the tax issues? All that's governed by, that local market, the tourism demands. And so to have a national conference, there is a reason to have national conferences. We have them ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, but at the end of the day, when you're an owner-operator and you really need to know how to drive profitability, it all comes down to those local issues. So, we feel that this is the best way to drive both information, but more importantly, information that you can actually execute once you leave that conference.
Right. What I love about the national conferences, it's a great chance to network with people from all around the country, but it's also a great opportunity to learn the bigger trends. And what we're talking about here is information that you could really incorporate into your business pretty much immediately. I think about an example this way. Hey, I'm going to think about reinvesting in my hotel. I've got my CapEx budget set aside, but I'm not even aware that there might be certain tax credits available to me in my neighborhood. This is the type of event that's going to reveal those types of things, right?
Yeah, you're never going to get that at a national conference. And again, no slight to a national conference, but
they serve different purposes.
Serve different purposes.
This is a beautiful complement to what you get on the national scene.
Yeah, it's big, broad brushstrokes. And as you know, hospitality is a highly complex industry.
Absolutely.
And it changes from street corner to street corner. So Hotel ROI is perfectly suited for those hotel owners that, hey, you may own 12 hotels in Alabama, 4 in Texas, and 3 in California. Well, each of those hotels is operated differently and has different opportunities to drive profits. So we want to focus on those issues.
Yeah, now while we'd love to be able to bring this event to you to every single city in the country, I believe this year we're going to start off with some next year. There'll be additional events in different cities as well.
Yep.
So we're talking events in Houston, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Charlotte. Why those cities? What is so interesting to them about you?
Well, as a sort of an overview on those 7 cities, one, they're all dealing with either a pipeline that has been extremely active in the case of Chicago, certainly Houston that was prepping for the Super Bowl, but most of them also are markets that are trying to deal with all of that influx of either supply that's come online already or about to come online. So they're all markets that have high demand as well. So you've got opportunities to drive revenue. You also have challenges as to how to handle that extra competition that's coming in across the street.
Right.
And then you've also got some highly complex issues like Chicago, California with all the minimum wage and the ADA acts. So you've got regulations in each of these areas that we feel can, again, you own a hotel in that destination. How do I deal with the situation or the context in which I'm operating this hotel, not nationally, but here on this street corner to drive profit?
Right.
So that's why we chose those.
Now, the
7
first
cities.
event is taking place in Houston on April 24th, and in putting together the schedule with you, what I find really cool is we have like the head of the CVB, right?
Yeah.
And that person is going to really share that insider scoop from their perspective. We've got people like the general manager manager from the Four Seasons Hotel, who's also actively involved in the community, and a lot of great owners and developers as well that are going to share their perspective. What are some of the different types of panels we're seeing? I know this format's a little different. We're eschewing the idea of these mega panels of an hour and a half for small, snackable bits of information. That way people stay engaged, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got to be actionable insights. We're calling them information snacks. Our idea is that by the time you're back in your car at 5, 6 p.m., going back to your hotel, going home, or going back to the office, hopefully home, we're going to send you a Cliff Notes of synthesized information bits that you're going to be able to start to execute, that next day in the office. So the panels are 45 minutes max. There's no more than 4 panelists, and many of them are often 2 or 3. There's a developer, owner, operator on each of the panels. So it's really about getting, again, that local information as to how to drive profits. And we feel that with the mix of some of the panelists that we have, with particularly an owner operator on each of those, you're going to get that local intel that we've been talking about.
So what are some of the specific sessions that we could expect at these events?
Yeah, so we kind of built the program exactly as sort of mirroring the life cycle of a hotel, but also mirroring the profit and loss statement. So that there's issues or discussion items above the GOP. So you've got maximizing revenues. You've got heads and beds, so looking at the marketing mix and optimal marketing channels, issues such as SEO, how like a Super Bowl or a new convention center might impact you. There's been a lot of discussion, obviously, on OTAs. I think we've kind of missed the boat a little bit on sales, quite honestly.
Right.
Group bookings, there's a lot of leverage for, even small hotels and select service hotels to drive some of those group bookings or corporate bookings. And then we've got a brand matters panel because I think, at the end of the day, this is a franchise industry and owners have to take a choice as to which brand works for, which street corner they're putting a hotel on. And then we've also got some minimizing expenses panel, and that again reflects exactly what's going on in that local industry or that local market. So tax issues in Houston. We've got HR and labor. We've got a fantastic speaker from Fisher and Phillips that deals with these issues and works with owners and operators significantly on HR issues, which we all know is a major cost for us in hospitality.
And becoming tougher and tougher all the time.
And complex, right? I mean, it's not just the cost when something goes wrong, but it's about how do you prepare yourself to make sure something doesn't go wrong, or when it does, for that matter, that you're prepared to handle it. So, this again is really meant for those owners and those operators that have to take these decisions in a very complex industry, in honestly markets that look at hospitality as a way to drive local revenues, either through taxes or through litigation. And it's not an easy environment to be profitable in. So we're pretty excited that the panel reflects, at the end of the day, pretty much what your profit and loss statement is going to look like.
Yeah, now it should be good enough for you that hotel management is supporting this event. I mean, they've been around since before my grandparents were even alive.
140 years.
I mean, that is unbelievable. I can't even imagine what the hotel news was like 140 years ago.
We've got some archives, and yes, it's different, but some of the issues, I don't know if it's good or bad, but some of the issues are the same.
I heard that some of the hotels back then you could drive your own luxury horse, for example.
Right. Right.
They bring up. They have a moonshine bar.
Right. Exactly. I know. But the photos were illustrations.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the customer's always been right, and it's never been an easy industry, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But the reason why I bring that up is because, sure, hotel management behind it should be enough, but we also have engaged HOA in it, and they've become big partners in this particular event. A powerhouse organization with over 16,000 members that's really transformed to be the major voice of the industry in many, many ways.
Yeah. HOA came on early. We've been working on this concept for 2 years now. We measure how people engage with our content on our global website. So we know that if you're an owner or an operator or a developer, we know which type of content you're reading. And we've seen over the last 2 years, investors that have typically been looking at more of the transaction type content, the real estate content, looking more at the operational content. So that means, and we've gone out and asked them, why are you reading content on effective housekeeping or technology? And it's because they want to make money operating hotels.
Right. So let me give a shameless plug for myself here. I'm writing a series of articles called Hotel EDU, a couple of them each and every single month.
Great
that
stuff.
Really complements the Hotel ROI events as well, because these are real actionable articles that break things down into steps that you need to take in order to achieve the goal of what the piece is.
Yeah, which is, going back to your question on AHOA is another reason they came on board, because this is about education, and that's one of AHOA's principles. And I think what's exciting about AHOA is that they are really seeing a surge of this second generation and third generation,
Right.
these younger professionals coming up, which are trading up into select service and full service and portfolio hotels, and that adds a level of complexity to it as well. So AHOA as an organization, but even on the street, sort of corner level, as individual members and owners of hotels, which is a very large constituency, are becoming savvier, becoming sharper, becoming bigger, becoming and dealing with the more complexity of this industry. So AHOA coming on board as a partner has been incredible. The local membership in each of these cities has been very engaged. So we're seeing a huge amount of interest from them. But we've also got HAMA, which is the Hotel Asset Management Association. We got the International Society of Hospitality Consultants. We've got then all the local CVBs and chambers. So we've got private equity, we've got REITs. This is not just about the individual owner operator, but we're seeing a lot of engagement from private equity, institutional investors, and of course those individual owner operator family run companies.
That's great. With so much buy-in from so many different great organizations, I know it's going to be an absolutely fabulous event.
Everybody wants to make money,
right?
I mean, it's
Do they really?
Yeah, it's profits are not exclusive to one type of investor. So I think we're okay on that front.
Right. So be sure to learn more about Hotel ROI. Not that you didn't learn everything today, but you've got to sign up for these events. Go to hotelroi.com in order to do that. Anything else that we need to know in terms of the event, how to sign up for it, any of the specifics that you want to share?
It's all on the website, and the content is there. There's a newsletter as well that you can subscribe to Hotel ROI. That's on our website, hotelmanagement.net, or you can subscribe to that newsletter as well. It's a weekly, talks about these issues in depth, and of course, they'll also find your writing in there as well.
Yep, excellent. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you spending the time today. And guys, go Hotel ROI. You'd be foolish not to be there. I can't wait to see you. I will see you in a couple of these cities. But remember, Houston, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Charlotte, with a lot of great cities to come in 2018. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Alexi, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, man. Good to see you, Glenn.
And thank you guys all for listening. And go to the Hotel ROI events. I will be seeing you there. And if you're not there, I'm going to tell your mother. Thanks for joining us.